Forget everything you thought you knew about the ocean being a peaceful place. About 12 million years ago, diving into the sea was like walking into a biological minefield. At the top of this food chain was a monster that's become the biggest horror star in modern cinema, the Otodus Megalodon. To give you an idea of this beast's sheer scale, picture a 66-foot luxury yacht. We're talking about a monster that reached 20 meters in length. To put that in perspective, if it swam next to a full-size charter bus, the bus would look like a plastic toy. But while Megalodon was swimming around thinking it owned the block, a silhouette was rising from the depths that would give any modern great white a total meltdown. Livyatan Melvillei. If you think the white whale from the movies was scary, Livyatan was the real-life nightmare that inspired the legend. It was the true, real-life Moby Dick. Think of a sperm whale, but instead of having that friendly head designed for diving after squid, it had a massive, solid skull built to be a literal battering ram. Hitting 17 meters in length and weighing 50 tons, Livyatan was nature's answer to anyone who thought sharks ran the show alone. This encounter would have been the loudest event in the ocean. On one side, Megalodon, a colossus at 20 meters long and 61 tons, with a hydrodynamic body built for silent ambushes. On the other, Livyatan, with its 17 meters of length and 50 tons of pure muscle and mammalian intelligence. When these two mountains of flesh crossed paths hunting the same prey, the water didn't just ripple, it boiled. And what decided who walked away alive wasn't just size, it was the arsenal of war they carried in their jaws. If we take a close look at these tools of the trade, you'll understand why the ocean was a no-go zone back then. Megalodon was the master of the chainsaw style. Its teeth, nearly 20 centimeters long, had side serrations so sharp they sliced through flesh and bone like butter. Its strategy was surgical. It would strike from below, delivering an impact bite fueled by the crushing pressure of its 61 tons, ripping massive chunks out of the prey's underbelly and then backing off to let the blood loss do the dirty work. Because it had a cartilaginous skeleton, it was incredibly flexible for its weight, pulling off maneuvers and turns a whale could only dream of. But when Livyatan enters the conversation, the game changes from slicing to total crushing power. Do you know how big a single tooth on this thing was? 36 centimeters. That's basically the length of your laptop, and it was much thicker than your forearm. These teeth weren't for nibbling, they were for demolishing. Unlike modern whales, Livyatan had massive teeth in both its upper and lower jaws, functioning like a biological hydraulic press. If it managed to lock its jaws onto any part of Megalodon's 61-ton frame, it would grind the shark's structure to dust instantly. Plus, the whale had the ultimate ace up its sleeve, sonar. It could track its opponent in total darkness or murky water, like a gladiator with a giant spiked mace and night vision.
It sounds like a clash between invincible gods, but nature doesn't create anything without a flaw, and even these titans had weak spots that could cost them their lives in a split-second mistake. Megalodon, at 20 meters long, carried the classic Achilles heel of all fish, the gills. They are the softest, most exposed part of its body. If Livyatan managed to land a headbutt or a side bite in that area, Megalodon would die from suffocation or a devastating internal hemorrhage. A shark skeleton is cartilage, while Livyatan's head is solid bone. A direct hit there would be like ramming a steel car into a rubber boat. On the other hand, Livyatan, at about 17 meters long and 50 tons, was fighting against the oxygen clock. Being a mammal, it couldn't fight forever in the deep and had to head to the surface to breathe. Megalodon, the master of the ambush, knew how to wait for that moment. It could simply circle below, and the second the whale made a desperate break for air, the shark could strike the fully exposed underbelly coming from the dark depths. On top of that, Livyatan burned through way more energy just to keep its body warm, while the shark, being more fuel efficient, could afford to be much more patient in a fight that lasted hours, waiting for the whale to tire out before delivering the finishing blow.
With all the weapons and weaknesses on the table, we've reached the million-dollar question. Who would win this fight in real life? Science gives us clues that this showdown happened quite often during the Miocene. If the fight was a quick, explosive burst of violence near the surface, Livyatan would take the crown. Its tactical intelligence, combined with teeth that crushed anything they touched, and a skull that worked like a heavy sledgehammer, would give it the chance to end the brawl with one well-placed hit. But if the fight turned into a war of attrition in the open ocean, Megalodon would be the favorite. It was the perfect killing machine for the long game, built to bleed its enemy out and wait. In the end, the winner would be whoever made the first mistake. The ocean has never seen anything as lethal as this matchup since. What about you? Who do you think was the true king of this forgotten sea? Are you betting on the intelligence of Livyatan, the real Moby Dick, or the legend of Megalodon? Let me know in the comments, Team Shark or Team Whale? I want to see who wins this fight in your opinion. If you enjoyed this dive into the past, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Every week, we bring these titans back to life just for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next journey.